Sita and Charachandrika, Ram making breakfast. Uh, Sometimes everybody would go to one place together, but more often the girls would split into two groups, one going to one place and one going to another. So they would make everybody's lunch. At breakfast time, they would make everybody's lunch and pack it in little boxes with people's names on them, like Radhika Dasi. So it was kind of, huh? Gore. Gore was we considered him also a Gaudiya girl because we knew that he was a gopi underneath it all. And he really acted like a gopi. In other words, nobody felt that he was a man. It was the most marvelous thing. I can't even describe it in words. I'm telling you because he's your hometown person. His behavior was, huh? Young Tulsi's Gore. His behavior was super excellent. Funny, he's funny. Funny and at the same time very respectful, keeping proper distance and beautiful service attitude. Then another wonderful thing was twice we had what we used to have in the old days with Srila Prabhupada, which is the Boga Run. About 6 of the devotees, headed by Gaur and Tulsi, would go to the wholesale place in Los Angeles very early in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning, and have big Harinam throughout all the stalls. And everybody was happy to give them free boga. And they didn't come back with the rotten stuff. It isn't that the people gave them their whatever they knew they couldn't use, but they came with excellent produce. Tons of excellent produce that lasted for 12 people for a week. And then they did that once more on the second week. So and then there was very nice morning programs. The girls were all great singers in the Bengali mood. And so we had Mangalarati, the girls had the bhajans, and then we had classes every day on Shikshastakam. Because I'm gradually understanding more and more the thing that Prabhupada and Gurudev and all of our acharyas are stressing is that Nam Bhajan is the whole thing that makes us advance, and it makes successful everything else that we're doing. And everything else that we're doing is so that we'll be able to get the qualification for chanting Nam. Because after all, it's the, what is that? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Kevalam. So it is the process. So we have so many other things that we do, but all for chanting Nam. Which made me remember that back in 2000 in England, at one of Srila Gurudev's Harikatha festivals, we were all chanting the bhajans in the morning, and then Gurudev came back from his morning walk and sat down on a couch like that and said, if you just chant Hare Krishna, you'll be filled with all material desires. So we thought, what is he saying? But then in a moment he continued, because you're going into the chanting with material desires, and so that's what you'll be having. And then Nam will fulfill your material desires and go away. But if you chant the bhajans, and like either before Harinam, or the day before Harinam, the night before your next morning's Harinam, then because our acharyas have sung in the first person singular, they didn't sing, oh, you should avoid the 10 offenses and you should be more humble than a blade of grass, but rather, when will all my offenses ceasing, taste for the holy name increasing, when will that day be mine? So because the songs are in the first person singular, as we sing them, Gurudev said it starts creating impressions. Like if you have a rope and you rub the rope back and forth on a rock, it doesn't make an impression first. But if you keep going and going, then it gradually starts making an impression. So singing the songs gradually changes our identity. As Gurudev would say in India over and over again, karte, 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 doing, doing, doing. It gradually starts creating sanskars or impressions on our heart, which changes our identity, changes our priorities, changes our intelligence for how we operate, changes our way that we relate to other people. Everything is there by those sanskars. Srila Gurudev gave the example of one of his disciples, lady disciple, who before she was married, she was a single secretary, and she used to go to work carrying her bag, and the bag would, you know how they go back and forth. And then she got married and had a child, and then all of her activities were in relation to that child. So then her identity started changing, and she couldn't think of herself as anything but a mother because of the diapering and the carrying and the feeding. So by activities, our consciousness changes. And as I'm hearing from you, that you heard from Sripad Padmanabh Maharaj during the last week, it's not enough just to do the activity, but even if the mind is screaming, don't try to control me, still we make the mind think of the verses in the Bhajan Rahasya, the verses in Bhakti Rasayan, the verses in Manashiksha, the verses in Venugit, while we're chanting and sing, and as Gurudev said in England, and remembering all the songs and putting those desires into the chanting. So the girls had such nice moods like that, and they were always regular in their attending the bhajans and very eager to hear Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gurudev's and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's commentaries from the Sri Shikshastakam. So then we went to different places, which I'll also share with you. And then in the evening, there was evening arati, sometimes one or two, and other people were running around and preparing for the next day. So there was everybody was doing something to make it like a temple, like the temple of the old days of Srila Prabhupada, in which we were also pioneering, even though we were totally unadvanced, and we had just come out of hippiedom and drugdom and all immoral activities. Still, by the power of Srila Prabhupada's katha and presence, we all had a tremendous, most of you were there then, tremendous pioneering spirit of morning and evening program, and then during the day, meeting new people, bringing them back, distributing tons of books. And Prabhupada would always insist on that. Do you have the soul?
What?
The soul of that book? Okay. Tonight we're going to introduce a new book if you haven't seen it.
Oh, wait, we have some.
Are you the one that has them all? Priyanath Prabhu gave them to you? More, okay. Well, I guess we'll introduce them tonight, because I think there'll be more people tonight.
Yeah, should be.
Okay, we'll introduce them tonight. So everybody knows the quotes of Srila Prabhupada about, I want millions of books distributed, or